Why fight it, Andy? We're going to be very close. In fact, we're going to be fucking inseparable.
This is the Horrible Film School. Take a seat. Rip open those trapper keepers. I am Chris, and I am here with the dude, Mr. Ryan Hootie.
What's up, fellas? Not excited to talk about this red-headed bastard again.
Chucky, I love him. And the current embodiment of Charles Lee Ray, Mr. Nasty, a.k.a. my brother, Joey.
Crunchy corn, yum, gang, 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 gang. Ice cream so good. Yes, strong woman, no spicy. Yeehaw, gang, gang. Have you guys seen this NPC shit blowing up on social media?
NPC shit? Somebody making like a beat track out of NPC audio?
These women and guys are making thousands and thousands of dollars pretending to be video game NPC characters.
Are they making songs or some shit?
No, they're literally having people go on these apps and they donate money in the form of like little stickers, and they have reactions based on what sticker they get.
This is like a TikTok thing?
Especially on TikTok.
Something like that, dude. I'm sorry,
TikTok.
but where's the reset button? We need another asteroid to hit this fucking planet.
It's coming. It's coming. Today's assignment, 1990s, Child's Play 2. Today's lesson, if that kid stays here, he's going to tear this family apart.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
How many holes does a straw have?
I feel like this is a trick question.
You both look extremely... There is no correct answer. I'm not like...
There's
no holes in a fucking straw, right?
What do you mean there's no holes in a straw where the liquid has to, like... There's an entrance hole and an exit hole, right? Or is there a hole? Does a hole defines an opening, right?
A hole is in the absence of something else, right?
I think 2 has to be the answer. Like, there's no... I guess there's a hole, there's a tunnel, and then there's the other hole.
A piece of paper, if you took a hole puncher to a piece of paper, it's just one hole, right? Regardless of how thick the paper is.
The mouth and the asshole are a straw. But it's just like, it's like one of those curly straws you used to like drink, like, it's like in Invasion of the Clowns, my movie I like.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the crazy straws
straw
they used to drink.
into the nutsack?
They use the drink. That's your body. Like, your body's a straw. Like, your mouth and your asshole. I'm of the college that there's 2 holes, a la the silly straw that is your intestines.
We're debating what the definition of a hole is here. I'm going to say 1.
I was in the 1 category, but I could also be swindled into saying that there is no hole.
Well, how many holes are in a tunnel then?
1 to me, but 2 to Joy.
It's 1 hole. It's one long hole. One elongated
an opening hole and a closing hole.
All right, we're going to be reviewing, doing a little bit of synopsis and reviewing Child's Play 2 today, a fan favorite of Chucky boys and Chucky girls alike. Hop on in with some fan reviews here. I decided to mix it up a little bit. We're going to do a couple reviews here by way of Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, been a while.
So we got a 4 out of 5 star review here from December 2022 by Isaiah I. Child's Play 2 is Chucky Unleashed. This is the one where Chucky became a star. Chucky is back right from the get-go. Chucky has much more funny lines and one-liners. Chucky has much more bigger and better kills. The final act is bigger and better also. The characters are just as good in this one than the original. Alex Vincent as Andy is actually even better in this movie. The introduction of Kyle is great. Child's Play 2 is an improvement on the original in every way. The only problem with this film is, unfortunately, some of the effects don't age well. But other than that, it's great. Definitely check this one out. How many times can you shove the fucking name Chucky into one review?
It was like the guy sat down for a review and started Chucky sentence and then and then Chucky sentence.
Let's see what happened next. Chucky did this. Chucky did that. This is the original with a bit of a bigger budget, and obviously the kid's going to become a better actor. He's done this before, so
I wouldn't give him too much credit, but yeah,
it's passable for a kid. He's not fucking Haley Joel Osment.
He was like nominated for like a Young Actors Award after Child's Play 1. But I think it was
Wow.
like a Saturn Award or some shit. I don't think it was like a,
Was it Razzie?
you know.
The worst.
Were the Razzies
fucking 8-year-old.
a thing in the late 80s? Were they around?
Probably a product of the 90s when the internet started blowing up.
For every coin, there's two sides. So we got a negative review here from Anonymous back in April of 2013. Really? You've got to be kidding me. Dang, this movie is literally the bottom of the barrel for the Child's Play franchise. Every single moment is so lazily put together. Right when you think the movie is about to get going, it drops off into terrible territory. How could they have messed this up so bad? Of course, a lot of people consider this one of the best in the franchise. Understandable. Sort of, at least. The movie itself might not be the worst, but in my eyes, it's a total mess. Out of the ballpark with this one. Never watch it. 1.5 stars out of 5.
1.5 is a specific score.
Well, he gave the movie a little bit of credit. He said it's understandable that some people consider it the best. All right, let's hop on over to the director of this fan favorite, John LaFia, who wrote and directed Man's Best Friend, that movie about the genetically modified Tibetan Mastiff named Max.
I thought it was a Rottweiler.
I always thought it was a Rottweiler too, but upon further inspection, Tibetan Mastiff.
Huh.
You learn something
No,
new
some
every
of the
day.
show don't have a damn dog in the house.
The scene from that movie that always stuck with me was when Max climbed a tree to eat the cat.
Didn't he attack the mailman too? Wasn't that a big one?
Oh, baby. Oh, guess what? That's from Friday. It's your ass, Mr. Postman.
Bang, bang,
Yeah,
bang.
that's,
I put up a dog's ass all day long. That's my pleasure.
No, I've seen Cujo. It's the only killer
It's
dog
not the
movie I've
best. It's like the dog is like genetically modified, and this literally has like cat DNA, like fucking like liger DNA. It's got fucking chameleon DNA. It can literally like blend in with the environment. It's insane.
seen. And it's a story like some family adopted this dog.
No,
in a
it's
shelter.
somebody. I think it's an animal protest group or something. Breaks the dog out. The dog like fucks a neighbor dog and like gets her pregnant. It's fucking wild, dude. I don't think there's a Man's Best Friend.
It's
too.
like an R-rated Beethoven.
Yeah, that's where the movie Beethoven came from.
Roll over Beethoven. Love
Oh,
that
shit.
shit, man. Was it Back in
Anything
the
you
Family
got?
or some shit? What was the sequels called?
Oh damn, dude. Oh, you ask me now.
Beethoven
But
4.
that thing was on fucking repeat for about 3 years with us, right?
Love that Saint Bernard.
Such a sweet and majestic and beautiful animal. Anything you guys want to add about John LaFia?
I have a sad note about Mr. John.
Oh God.
Died by suicide in 2020, leaving behind a family and kids, like a wife and kids.
R.I.P.
Seek mental health, folks. Seek mental health.
Very, very important.
It's not the answer.
All right, only one other guy I wanted to talk about in terms of director and notable crew, Don Mancini.
Don A.
That's Chucky Daddy.
Boy.
That's the guy who's literally been attached to every single production, including the television show that's currently in its second season, in the third season.
I'm not that big of a Chucky fan, and am quite frankly shocked that he's able to last. We're at decades at this point.
But you love Phantasm with that boring ass old man standing up throwing balls at people.
Boy.
I
I think that franchise is pretty well dead, right?
it's all but dead. Yes, it's been driven in the coffin,
What the fuck?
and the old man's dead as
Fuck,
well. So
what the fuck did he say at the end of the movie?
No, it's not.
It's a nightmare. No, it's not.
No, it's no. It's not.
That's how
Grab
the
his
fucking
ass.
movie ends. What the fuck?
All of Mr. Brad Dourif's work was recorded beforehand. I thought that was kind of interesting. Thinking about how these movies are made, like they, I guess, crafted all the puppetry around his voice.
That definitely helped with the flow of the movie in terms of the actual like delivery of the dialogue and shit. Because there's a lot more close-up shots of Chucky in the movie.
Yeah.
And it really benefited the movie to have him record his dialogue beforehand, for sure.
I was shocked that apparently in the first film they didn't do that, and so when the actors are interacting with Chucky, the doll, there was nothing to go off of besides the actual script. Somebody just reading the script.
Right, yeah. I think for this they had pre-recorded his dialogue, and they were actually playing
Like a boombox.
his actual voice back to Andy. So he had Brad Dourif's actual voice to react to get that performance out of a kid when you hear that voice, like the voice of Chucky, as opposed to some production assistant who's like, yeah, then he says he's gonna fucking kill your mom.
Yeah, he just said he's going to take your mom and throw her off a fucking building. What do you think about that, Andy?
Something else I thought was pretty interesting here. This is just some of the most bizarre shit I've read as far as behind the scenes for anything we've covered. This is about a tie-in novelization to the film. It was written later, after the movie had already been out, by a guy named Matthew Costello. And in it, Chucky is characterized to have an absent father, and his abusive mother is a dwarf. Chucky gets teased a lot because of this and later strangles his mom to death. He is also put into special classes when he is younger.
So is that where the Lakeshore Strangler moniker came from?
Yeah, like he strangles women. I guess that's his M.O.
Hmm.
But I think like throwing in the fact that his mom was a dwarf and he becomes like a small doll was a little on the fucking nose.
I imagine one of these fucking Gimli's wife or some shit. He's over here fucking choking the life out of her. And as she dies, her spirit enter his mouth hole. Not his second hole, his asshole. And then he becomes a doll. Or he like shrinks down. Oh shit.
It's all the same hole, man. We've already established this.
I have a couple. And it's mainly around what happened. I don't want to ruin the movie. And it's kind of like established in the first scene. That what happened to the fucking mom?
There's actually some cut footage that they shot of her being in the courtroom and her being sent to a mental institution because she believes that her son didn't murder these people and that it was a fucking doll. And saying this into a courtroom full of people... you're going to come off as someone who's fucking crazy.
There were many rumors about why Catherine Hicks didn't reprise her role as Karen Barkley in the sequel. She was actually married to the special effects guy, Kevin Yeager, and he knocked her up. So she was pregnant. And that she was basically around the set all the time, helping her husband out, and then the director wanted to go in a different direction. And that direction did not include her being in the film. But I just thought that it was strange how she was such a big part of the first one, and then she was on set almost every day of the sequel, yet not in the movie.
Yeah, that's kind of odd when you think about, like, essentially your lead actress from the first movie.
And, like, you're here. Like, you could just be in a scene. You're already here.
But, I mean, in the director's defense, you can't... If she's in this movie, you're just running the first one back all over again, right?
And the other tidbit I got here, besides that, Kevin Yeager also had to direct a few scenes because apparently the puppet was a pain in the ass to work with, and he was the only one that knew how to shoot it because he's the one that designed it. For promoting the movie, the marketing included a promotional 900 telephone number, which allowed fans to hear the voice of Chucky. The number received over 40,000 calls in just the first month of being released.
The question is, do we have access to that phone number? Because I would fucking...
That's a time capsule, man. That's awesome.
It's probably like a sex hotline now. Man, if only we were like... Because when this movie came out, you were 2, I was 4. Imagine if we were not born. Imagine if we were born a little bit earlier and we were like 7, 8. And we were able to call this hotline. Because I don't know if you remember as kids, but when we got that Ouija board...
Yeah.
We would try to fucking conjure up goddamn... Chucky every fucking weekend, bro. Imagine getting to talk to his little ass.
It's because like I think I said this when we covered the first movie. He has maybe the most iconic voice in any horror movie. It's hard to downplay how fucking awesome Brad Dourif's voice is.
It's funny you say that. There ain't but like 3 fucking killers that actually talk.
Exactly. But he's like the one that I always think of.
You got Pinhead, you got Chucky, and you got Freddy.
The whole concept of calling to hear like somebody that you like, a celebrity that you love's voice, is such a time capsule of the 90s. Because me being a wrestling fan, on WCW they would give you a hotline to where you can call in and talk to Hulk Hogan, and to me as a kid that was fucking awesome.
Wasn't Chucky on WCW? Didn't we cover this last time?
Oh yeah, he was.
He had like
he did the circuit. He did the circuit.
Oh fuck!
He did. Like, he's a living, breathing thing.
He was on. I think he was on WCW Nitro, and he threatened to like DDT David Arquette.
I think he was a world champ for at least a weekend or some shit.
Oh,
Fuck, wrestling's a lot of fun. Wrestling, sorry.
So who doesn't care for Chucky, but his ass talked to Miss Elizabeth on the fucking hotline every other week.
Miss Elizabeth.
Saving up money for that. So it's like a pay by the minute thing, I guess. Like the longer you pay, the more he talks to you. Is that how it works?
Yeah, and I'm sure if you called Hulk Hogan, you weren't talking to Hulk Hogan, you're talking to a fucking recording.
Yeah, no doubt about that. We should do one for the pod, and like we'll get Michael Myers on the line here if anybody wants to fucking call.
Just breathing and shit.
Y'all are not representing the Rob Zombie, Michael Myers.
Die.
God, that movie fucking sucked.
I don't know. It's from what I understand, it's kind of like garnered some reputation in the last 10 years.
Don't worry, boys.
And
We're
again,
gonna
like
make it there.
the later Halloween movies, man. After 4, Jesus Christ. Got a couple tidbits I want to throw out as well. Horrible film school alum Veronica Cartwright was considered for the role of Joanne. We know Miss Cartwright from Alien and Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh, yes. She definitely kind of has the same look as the actress she uses for Joanne.
It really don't matter. They could put anybody in that role.
That we've seen before recently, too.
Unfortunately, she had a lot of her shit cut. Yeah, last note here for me. Both Child's Play 2 and Home Alone took place in Chicago in the 1990s. Both released the same year. Fuck Freddy versus Jason. Give me Kevin McAllister versus Chucky, brother.
That would be fucking sick. Crossover
Chucky,
event.
Chucky, I'm reading through all your private stuff. You better come out and pound me.
You better come out and pound me. Weirdest line
This
of
sounds-
any movie in the 90s.
This sounds like a perfect comic book series. Where is like Dark Horse to scoop this thing up?
Sounds like something the Mad Magazine would have done.
All right, boys. Let's get weird with La Bambola Assassina de
Yeah.
Italian, better known in the States as Child's Play 2.
Shit.
Hi, I'm Tommy.
Shut up, you idiot.
I'd like to be hugged. 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 I'd like to be hugged.
Hug
I'd like
this.
To be hugged. I'd like to be hugged. I'd like.
Our story begins 2 years after the events of November 1988 at the Play Pal Toys Factory, the official home of the Good Guy doll. Play Pal CEO, Mr. Sullivan, is all fire and brimstone. The stockholders up his ass over the story of Andy Barkley and his killer Good Guy doll. Play Pal bootlicker Madison is all smiles as he reveals that they now have possession of the alleged murder doll, which is in the midst of reconstruction in order to prove that Andy's story is just a childish farce. Just as the engineers insert the eyeball speculum into the newly minted doll's face, a bolt of voodoo lightning shoots from the empty sockets and through the machine, launching one of the technicians through an observation window, leaving him dead at the feet of Mr. Sullivan and Madison. Paramedics soon arrive to collect the body, and Mr. Sullivan tasks his underling with the cover-up, leaving the doll in Madison's care.
The dude flipping through the window was fucking great. You can tell, like, we're going to have real stunts in this fucking movie.
So unnecessary.
This movie
Totally unnecessary.
got started real quick.
Oh, yeah. They put a lot of effort into recovering this fucking doll.
I had the same note. Why?
It was a lot. That was like a fucking $500 doll, all the work they put into it.
You could have showed a stockholder any fucking doll.
I mean, they're just going out of their way to show, hey, you know, we're gonna go the extra mile to make sure, you know, this doll's not crazy, brother.
Well, they had to figure out how to bring him back, and I guess that's one way to bring him back clean.
He had the metal skull, too. That was kind of cool.
Oh, that was I really like that. But why did the doll have like anatomically correct teeth?
Oh, the teeth thing.
That
freaked the
very
straight
Oh,
out
when
of
he
the
was
shit.
in the teeth. That's what I'm saying. They went over the top
God.
to get this one
Very
doll
unsettling.
tip-top shape, you know.
It's interesting that you called Matson a bootlicker because I feel like that's that guy's entire career.
Just
playing
kissing
that
ass.
same role.
Well, hey, going up the corporate ladder, man. Sometimes you gotta lick a little boot. You gotta sometimes count the flowers, count the lumber. Eventually, you'll get to where you want to be.
His name is Greg German. He was in Talladega Nights and a lot of seasons of Grey's Anatomy.
He's got one of those that guy faces.
Larry Dennett Jr. Boy, he wanted to fuck Cal Naughton, didn't he? It was Lawrence from Quarantine as well. Don't leave that out.
Yeah, that's
He
right.
was.
I do recall.
Also, but probably best known as his role in Sweet November, the movie where Keanu fucked Charlize Theron.
Charlize
You guys
Theron's
remember
died
that?
of
Sweet
cancer.
November.
I think
Wait a minute.
Keanu was like a ghost or something in that.
I think she had like a month to live or something. She had cancer.
Oh, God,
And he's going to make love to her and be her best friend.
Got to.
Get it in.
Man, what happened to stories like that?
What happened to those wholesome stories?
What happened to the good times of 2002?
Wasn't there that movie a few years ago to where like the young couple had some kind of disease where they couldn't touch each other, and I guess it ends with them fucking I don't
Man,
know.
that's
They
fucking
both die.
X-Men, bro. That's goddamn Rogue and
No,
Iceman.
he's talking about the one where the girl has like the like a tube in her nose on the cover.
He knows.
See, I have not
The
seen a
Fault in Our
second.
Stars?
Exactly. I've only seen the poster, and I can tell you what it's about.
If
I
we
know
touch,
the
we
cover
die.
of the
They
book
just
is
start
like
fucking.
the clouds and shit.
Could you imagine
like a
how
fever.
passionate that love would be, Joy, if you only once for all eternity?
Look, I got a note here, man. Why was that dude caressing the doll's feet the way he was, like Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah, he like pinched his
Like-
toes a little bit. I was like, okay. And he says, let me turn this
Check it,
perfectly.
Peter Haskell, he plays the role of Mr. Sullivan. Spoiler alert, we won't see him for the rest of the movie. However, we do see him to start Child's Play 3.
Oh, shit.
So,
Does he get his?
He'll be returning in the inevitable sequel to this film.
Is he just in it again for about 2 minutes?
He's in it for a little while. He's got like a little 10-minute stretch.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Like what he says to Madison right here. Madison's like, what do I do with the doll? Stick it up your ass.
Sticking up your ass.
Got
Got
him.
He was also, to call you grandmothers out there, in 2 episodes of Matlock.
Oh,
Who
shit.
the fuck we talking about?
Granny loves some Andy Griffith.
Oh, the Sullivan guy? I
Yeah.
didn't put shit. Yeah, he was in a lot. I think he was in a lot of TV stuff. Andy Barkley, age 8, now resides within the foster care system with his mother admitted to a psychiatric hospital after corroborating his far-fetched killer doll story. The Simpson family, sympathetic Joanne and skeptical Phil, decide to take temporary guardianship of traumatized Andy during his mother's treatment. Settling into the Simpsons foster home, the young boy meets the rebellious teen Kyle, a fellow foster juvenile with an affection for cigs and berets. So yeah, Kyle, hot or not?
Oh, hot.
I think so.
Without question.
It's definitely a product of me at that age. Like the hot, your best friend's older sister thing going on, you know?
Yeah, she's smoking cigarettes. She's wearing the hat from Judas Priest.
She reminded me of like Blossom, even though at the time that was like a whole
God,
look.
dude, did you go back and look at that girl?
Nah.
That nose, boy. God almighty.
Are we going to talk about
You could hit a
Christine
goddamn
Ellis
golf
here?
ball off her face with that fucking schnoz.
Who are we talking about here?
The chick from Blossom.
Kyle. I'm talking about Kyle.
Oh, Kyle. Yeah, Kyle.
I hate the way
Kyle
Andy
is
says
son.
her name in this movie too. It like
Kyle!
breaks me. Kyle. It's one syllable. He makes it like 3.
He says it like you would say the guy's name. I don't think you say Kyle when it's a female's name in the way he says it.
But she's still riding these coattails. She's in this TV show, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's she's been in a few things, but I think she's in like 7 or 8 episodes of the sci-fi series, the USA
Is
sci-fi
Andy in
series
this?
one.
Is Andy in the show?
I think he's in a few episodes as well, but he's not like the
He's
star
not the
or
primary
anything.
focus.
He
Okay.
has like a returning role. Her name Christine Elise or Christine Ellis. His name Alex Vincent. Just to give them cred.
I thought I had seen her in like several other things, but looking at her filmography, nothing really jumped out. I think I just saw this movie so many times that I assumed she was in a lot of things, you know.
Don't you lie to us, Chris. You saw the Wesley Snipes vehicle Boiling Point.
Oh, God, I don't remember no boiling point.
Was it like an egg foam or some shit?
So I actually have a couple notes on her. One, She's in the lavish coffee table book, The Irish Face in America, where she's included, in which her essay on being Irish and growing up poor in Boston is a part of. She was 25 in this film, playing a 17-year-old.
To give a little bit more credit to the other two actors we discussed, Jenny Agutter. She plays Joanne. You'll know her as Nurse Alex Price in American Werewolf in London.
Last thing I have here on Mr. Alex Vincent, who plays Andy. He is 5'5", tiny little dude.
Like as an adult right now.
As a grown man.
So he could play Chucky next time.
Charles Lee Ray might strangle his ass next.
He was once in a 1988 Hardee's commercial.
Hell yeah. What was it like for the bacon, egg, and cheese? What was like popping in 88?
1988, I think they just came out with the apple pie.
What if they got him to come out with the Monster Biscuit? Talk about a tie-in.
Oh, the Monster Biscuit. I had a Super Biscuit this morning. You ever had one of those?
Oh shit! What the hell is that?
Dude, all right, throw out everything you know about breakfast.
Throw out everything you know
right
about
now.
biscuits.
Throw
right
out
now.
everything you know about
The fucking window.
Wait, what's the biscuit again?
handmade scratch biscuits. 2 steaming, thick cut, spicy sausage patties.
Cut 'em thick like chopped
sausage patties.
2 sausage patties?
Layered with cheese and dehydrated egg. My ass, fried fucking egg, brother.
It's 2 like a double cheeseburger, but it's a sausage biscuit.
It's a
Sausage biscuit with 2 fucking patties, a fried egg, and cheese layered between.
I think that took a day off of your life, brother.
I literally ate that, and it wasn't 4 minutes later. I had to take a shit. It was that good.
That's how good it was. It's how fast can it go through the straw? That's really the
that's
fucking
how I
concept.
judge. That's how I judge how good food is. How long it takes me to shit after.
Oh, the food was
faster it is, the
alright. It
fucking
took me
better
2
it is.
hours to fucking process it.
Oh God, that was awesome. 4 minutes. I was shitting my
Four
brains
fucking-
out.
He was finishing the biscuit on the toilet as the shit started.
So hold on, I
knew
gotta
it.
ask.
I knew it as soon as I tasted it. This is gonna be a 5-minute window. I gotta get to work and take a shit.
I haven't been to a Hardee's in a long time. Is this on the menu or just like a secret Chipotle?
No.
menu kind of
This is
situation?
like a fucking. This is like their banner item right now.
You got to
Oh.
download
This
the
is
app.
this
or
is
any
a
of that
flagship. This is a flagship item, man. Get it.
shit.
super biscuit.
They got the super bacon one, but that's kind of a fucking ripoff, man.
They're not planning on
You know,
keeping the
bacon's
customers
kinda
around for long, so go ahead and get it while you can.
Just shit your brains out after.
Get it instead of get it while supplies. Get it while you're alive.
Get it before we put you in the ground with the next one.
Phil Simpson. He's played by Garrett Graham. You're probably not gonna know him from anything. However, he does play the role of Stan in 1986's TerraVision, a movie I guarantee we'll cover in the future.
He was in 2 sequels that had pretty bizarre taglines attached to them. The one being Chud 2, Bud the Chud, and It's Alive 3, Island of the Alive.
Soon after, Joanne leads her new foster son to his bedroom filled with toys of every shape and size. Atop the closet, he finds even more toys, and to his shit in his pants surprise, a good guy doll. Andy sprints from the room into the arms of Phil, who scolds him for running. His foster mom apologizes and takes the doll away, but not before we hear that ominous catchphrase. Hi, I'm Tommy, and I'm your friend to the end. Howdy ho. Ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha.
Can't lie. Watching this movie as a kid, I was so jealous of this Oliver Twist and a Green Gables ass motherfucker and his toy room.
Yeah, he had a lot of cool shit he didn't deserve.
I would have drowned Chris in our fucking toilet to get my hands
How
on
about that?
just a couple of his badass toys.
Man.
The punching clown thing, a dartboard, Tonka truck with fully operational bucket, fighter jets, Godzilla action figures, a 1-to-1 scale toy sniper rifle. Don't know if you guys
Damn,
saw that.
I did not see this fucking sniper
That's-
rifle.
That looked like some shit at a fucking Fortnite, bro.
You mean like a
The shit
scope
is
with a
wild.
bipod and shit?
Scope with a bipod.
Damn.
I had 2 things. One, to your thing about the clown. When I was a kid, I had to bring back up wrestling. I had a Stone Cold Steve Austin blow up thing like that. You could punch it and you could go back and forth. Very cool. But in the closet, there was the horror themed skateboard that looked badass.
I'm going to take Vince McMahon and shove a skateboard up his candy ass. I actually looked and found that skateboard online. You can actually get it pretty cheap on eBay for like $80. It's a Nightmare Nash model from like the 80s. It's fucking dope.
It looked
That's cool.
awesome.
So how shitty are these foster parents to have that doll in that house? They have to have known, right?
Yeah, sure, but to hear they actually like have a kind of a reasonable explanation. They foster a shit ton of kids.
Foster the fucking town, Chris.
This isn't Andy's room. Might as well be a hotel room for Andy. No one
don't go like adopt a would-be serial killer maybe, and then leave like the fucking instrument of his demise in the room with him. Come on.
Well, it was hidden behind the skateboard.
You don't leave like a bunch of playboys in a room with Ted Bundy when you adopt him.
If you're tired of your kids, just send them to the fucking Simpsons house. Let them handle them for a few days.
Maybe it's like face your fears. Like what's the one thing that terrifies you? We're gonna put that in your fucking room.
Here's an example. Your kid don't like broccoli. You know what you're gonna do? Lock his ass in a closet for 4 days with a four or five heads of broccoli. Guess what? He'll fucking love broccoli when he comes out.
Dangling above his head.
Guess all you can eat's broccoli. Guess what? You're gonna love broccoli, buddy.
Talking about mental health issues. We have not talked about the fact that when they walk into this house, the walls are painted baby blue and the trim is painted pastel pink.
It's just like a dollhouse. It's insane.
Fucking Easter egg.
Yeah. I think the house itself is like kind of terrifying.
It's fucking crazy terrifying.
It's like staged. It doesn't look real, you know.
It's literally like a dollhouse. It's like picturesque. This is like a kid's worst nightmare. You can't even like bump into a wall without breaking something and getting your ass beat.
Tommy directed the first one, so that's why the Chucky, as we like to call him, was actually named Tommy.
You know, it's pretty cool. Tommy and Chucky is, I think the Rugrats came out right around this time period. And that's like the leads in the Rugrat cartoon.
It's really a Tommy Pickles.
And Chucky has red fucking hair, just like...
Yes, he does.
Oh, my God.
Here we go.
Is a third part of the crossover.
In the pouring rain, Mr. Madison and his new doll buddy leave the Play Pal factory and head to the liquor store. Alone in the car, the doll reads through police documents in the man's briefcase and places a call to Andy's former foster care center. Posing as Uncle Charles, he's informed by Andy's former social worker / caretaker Grace that the boy was taken in by the Simpsons. Soon after, Madison returns, unaware of what's to come. Before long, Chucky springs back to life, holding the executive at water gun point, directing him to a parking lot near Andy's new home. Binding the man's hands with a jump rope behind the driver's seat, he proceeds to suffocate Madison with plastic, all the while laughing his now iconic maniacal laugh. The man's body goes limp, and the doll makes his move. Breaking into the Simpson residence, Chucky meets his good guy counterpart Tommy and beats the animatronic's face to pieces with Joanne's heirloom porcelain statue. He buries the doll under a swinging tree, once again laughing hysterically.
I love the fucking water gun he puts to the guy's cheek and he says, "Don't move."
He's so convincing. You know what it is? Brad Dourif's voice.
It's the voice, man. It's an all-time fucking voice.
All right, let's pretend he can't look in the rearview mirror. Well, you know what? It's dark as shit. It's raining outside. It's already going to be dark, all right? You can't tell who's behind you, even though the goddamn backseat of his car is up to your tits with toys and action figures and stuff. You'd have to be somebody of smaller stature or like a child or, in this case, a doll. He is very convincing as someone holding you up.
Don't move. He's like fucking shits himself.
Don't move.
And when he squirts the gun, that's the first time I remember hearing the iconic laugh. He just really leans into it.
It's definitely like amped up to 11 in this one compared to the first one. He could really, I think, do like a good Joker if he ever got the opportunity.
When I just love this
guy's voice.
When he goes to park the car, now park this piece of shit. Talking about the car, dude. Oh, it's so fucking good. Let's go ahead and talk about him. Brad Dourif. He's gone by many names.
Bradley.
Grimma Wormtongue. Peter DeVries, the Gemini Killer. Albert from Critters 4. Jettaman. Alien Resurrection. Doc Cochran. But he will always be a horror legend as Chucky. Fun fact about our boy Brad, while Tim Burton was attached to Batman Forever, he wanted to cast Dorf as Scarecrow, but the studio wouldn't go for it.
Ooh, that'd been good.
Yeah, I love Brad.
And then Joel Schumacher took over, and
Put the nipples
Oh
on.
boy.
then we got Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey.
It's going to be hard not to just quote Chucky
His
for an
one-liners
hour.
in this movie are some of his best.
They're fucking
some of his
great.
best work.
I love when I always think about like this is something I quote often and I don't know why, but when Tommy says I'd like to be hugged, Chucky says hug this.
That's
He
when he
starts
beats
smashing
it with
his face
with the prized heirloom. Yeah.
Every time like somebody
so
says something
good.
about a hug, I'll say hug this. The delivery is just
How hard is that damn family heirloom?
Oh shit.
he beat the fuck. I mean, we got to realize this dude has a titanium skull just like Chucky does, right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
He had to beat the
when
fuck out of it.
when he's fucking digging the goddamn grave for Tommy. Eat dirt, Tommy.
Dirt, Tommy. And all this is like pre-recorded. That's what's just even more fucking wild about it. It's not like he saw this and knew like change my inflection here or there. This is just
Well, the way he
character.
voices this here, he actually voices it in a way like he's exerting force. He's
Yeah.
in the midst of doing something. He's in the midst of being active. It's so fucking good, man. The guy is amazing.
And when he laughs, the way they got the puppet to look, like just smiling, it's so funny.
The next morning, the makeshift family discovers the broken statue, and with neither kid fessing up, they're both grounded. Later, Andy overhears Phil talking with Joanne about him, how he may be too much for them to handle following the freakout from the good guy doll and the destruction of her grandmother's statue. To prove to his new family that he's not going to be a burden, the boy pretends to take a liking to faux Tommy and starts to carry him around as he did Chucky 2 years ago. That night, he wakes abruptly from a dead sleep, a gym sock shoved in his mouth, and all 4 limbs tied to his bed. His doll straddles his chest, and Chucky begins the Damballa chant. Before he can make any headway, however, he's interrupted by the crackling of tree branches and goes limp. From the open window crawls Kyle, returning from sneaking out. She begins to free Andy, who in turn begins to yell about Chucky. The Simpsons burst into the room, and Phil, irate about the situation, grabs Chucky and chucks his ass into the basement. The good guy springs back to life, realizing with a bloody nose that he's turning human, and if he doesn't transfer his soul soon, will be stuck in the plastic husk forever.
When Andy wakes up and he fucking
Punches
socks
his
that
ass.
Chucky
He
doll.
fucking gets him the goddamn Ali. How did he not break his hand? The dude's fucking face is made of titanium, reinforced adamantium.
It's like solid contact. It sounds like someone punching a heavy ass toy.
Andy's kind of a badass in this compared to the first movie. Like that 2-year transition right there. He's holding his own.
Yeah, I feel like he embodies like all 3 characters from the first movie, like the detective and the mom, and then the younger version of himself. Because he's obviously still a kid, but he's like he knows how to fight Chucky, and no one else here does.
When he's being interrupted by Kyle. This isn't over, you little shit. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life as a plastic freak. Next time you're alone, you're mine.
You're mine.
And he fucking like turns his head and just stops. He's totally frozen as a doll.
Toy Story, and like as soon as Andy walks in the room, they just go.
The following morning, the foster siblings head off to their respective schools, with Andy on a school bus and the Chuckster hitching underneath.
Him running
You laugh about it.
along the bus.
Oh, his fucking
it was like
legs!
it was one of like
Legs are kicking.
the 2 or 3 things that I had forgotten about watching this again. I just started
Like he's
fucking
fucking
laughing.
like he's fucking Flintstone in the fucking, car. Legs fucking spreaded.
It's so cute and funny.
During recess with the classroom vacant, Chucky finds his way to Andy's and leaves a little message for the boy's teacher on some of his schoolwork. Class resumes, but before long, the end-of-day bell sounds, and Miss Kettlewell discovers Chucky's handiwork. As Andy grabs his things to go, he discovers the doll tucked away in a cabinet. Before he can flee, the teacher grabs him, forcing him to stay after school, locking Chucky in a supply closet while also locking Andy in the classroom. Andy approaches the closet, peeping through the keyhole. Chucky springs to life, pounding on the closet door. Fearing for his life, the boy opens a window and makes a quick getaway. Miss Kettlewell returns from calling the boy's guardians and approaches the closet door looking for Andy. She finds more than she bargained for as Chucky bursts from a rack of clothes, stabbing the woman in the chest with an air pump, sending her sprawling across the room. He stalks his latest victim and proceeds to beat Miss Kettlewell to death with a yardstick.
Never thought of it before, but maybe we could do a Turkey versus Chucky spinoff as well.
Oh, I'm ready. You know what? I'm banking on Thanksgiving 4.
Give
Let's
me the
go.
Chuckster, baby. I think we're done with Thanksgiving. That's the first franchise we finished, wasn't it?
Sadly. Yeah.
That's
sadly.
it. That's all
It's
she wrote.
going in our Hall of Fame for the first one we actually made it all the way through.
Them ugly-ass sweaters that Andy is forced to wear that his mama Joanne knits for him.
Yeah.
Dude, no wonder he gets kicked. He gets fucking, like, shit on the bus.
She definitely has like a British sensibility when she dresses this kid.
They hit him with fucking, can't see it here. And they're throwing fucking paper balls at him and spitballs at his little nerd ass.
There were several kids on that bus who were wearing good guy sweaters. So maybe he did kind of blend
Maybe
in
fucking
to the
sick.
weird.
I liked when the
Aesthetic.
kid thumped him in the back of the head. Andy would says, "Get lost, microchip." What the fuck does that even mean?
I don't get that. That's like, that's hitting him with an uppercut because the kid didn't know what the fuck was going on.
I can never see this teacher with Miss Kettlewell without thinking about fucking Donnie Darko, the Donnie Darko quote.
Sometimes I doubt your commitment to sparkle motion.
She's been in a lot. She's definitely that person. She's been in a lot of stuff.
That lady face.
Oh, she's... All right, well, you know why? You know where she gets her accent from, right?
North Carolina?
North Carolina, come on and raise up. Grew up in Wilmington, NC, and graduated from ECU. Go Pirates.
Get it, girl.
Ooh, the fun school.
She's been in fucking everything, dude. Cora May Cobb in A Time to Kill. You Turn Him Loose. To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. Another Leguizamo classic. Swayze and Snipes. Chris Donnie Darko, No Country for Old Men. She's credited with over 240 acting appearances.
Hell yeah.
And she plays the quintessential bitch character in 239 of them.
Now, remember, folks, whenever you're in a court case, tell a riveting story at the very end. Just say, now imagine they're
Now
white.
imagine she's white.
Hell yeah, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
Fuck yeah, Samuel. Did Chucky really write "fuck you, bitch" on the paper?
Fuck, dog.
He put a lot of effort into that.
He wrote that shit in a way
Fuck you, bitch.
where Miss Kettlewell felt that in her soul.
Yeah, she just shut down. Like that's the power of the fucking Chuckster.
Andy's innocence of just his face and gestures of it was Chucky.
Chucky
It was
did
Chucky.
it.
Always blaming Chucky, bro. Never takes responsibility for any of his actions or any of just anything.
I noticed a board game in the closet. I had a question what the fuck it was. It's an expression I've heard before, but apparently it's a board game. Have you ever heard of tiddlywinks?
At the board game?
Apparently, it's in the closet in the school. I always thought it was like a slang for like some kind of weird sexcapades.
That sounds like some shit they put you on the fucking sexual predator list after you play or something. The face that Chucky makes when he pumps the air pump into the teacher's chest.
It's the classic like shriveled up nose.
Pure fucking malice.
I'd say the walk with the ruler is just like S tier 1990 puppet work, you know. I did read that Lafia was so persistent about making sure they got the perfect take. It took an entire day just to shoot the scene of him stepping out of the closet with the yardstick.
Oh yeah, all that like walking and slapping the yardstick into the hand. That's all puppeteers doing that. It looked so fucking good.
No threads anywhere. This scene in particular was one he wanted in the first movie, apparently. Mancini did. This and the ending of the movie were two scenes that he didn't get to use. So they put a lot of effort into putting both of those in this movie, and you can kind of tell.
Good for them. That's awesome.
Back home, the Simpsons try to make sense of Andy's acting out, with the young boy sounding like a broken record at this point with cries of "Chucky did it." Fed up with the Chucky bullshit, Phil forces Andy into the basement, where the good guy doll lies still at the bottom of the stairs. That night, armed with an electric turkey carver, Mr. Barkley heads back to that very same basement to confront his nemesis. After an improvised game of hide-and-seek, Chucky ambushes his friend to the end, and a struggle ensues. Andy manages to gain the upper hand and cuts the doll with the carver before Charles bolts under the stairs. Phil, overhearing the ruckus, makes his way down to the basement and attempts to disarm the troubled boy. Before he can make it down the steps, however, the chuckster hooks the man's foot with a logging spear and sends him crashing over the handrail, dangling upside down high above the cement floor. Phil comes face to face with the living doll, who sends the man to his death, breaking his neck on the ground below. Joanne and Kyle rush downstairs after the commotion and look on in horror at the dead patriarch.
How's it hanging, Phil?
How's it hanging, Phil? Dude, Chucky is the most savage killer in the game.
Freddy's creative, but Freddy has like infinite power. I think
All right, this is the second Chucky movie. Can you imagine him saying that shit in Nightmare 2?
I like Nightmare 2. I think it's the one he did.
Too,
but anyway. But for like the one guy who doesn't have all the powers, he's super fucking creative with these kills.
I thought we were going for the Achilles cut when they showed the steps, and that always gets me.
Yeah, this was actually what they call a reverse pull, which you guys are probably aware of. They shot the actor already in the death position, pulled him upwards, and then they ran the footage backwards, which makes that, like, if you notice when he breaks his neck, it's kind of like an uncanny.
Like unnatural or some shit.
Yeah, it's really fast because they shot it in reverse.
I didn't even know that. Hell, you learn something new every day. But yeah, speaking of the falling down the stairs and the hook, what in the Night at the Museum fuck is going on with this basement? Like, is Joanne or Phil an anthropologist or something? Why is there so much shit down here?
Random shit. I feel like Phil might be like a secret, like a Dahmer or something. He might have some crazy shit going on in this basement, dude.
You've seen the walls of the house. I wouldn't put it past him.
It's like Barbarian down there, dog.
They didn't have any room for his shit because her china's fucking everywhere. So you got to shove all Phil's shit down in the basement with the spiders and snakes.
What did you guys think of when you saw Andy with that meat cutter?
Reminded me of Evil Dead.
Yep, I went right to 2013.
As a kid, I was jealous I didn't have a fucking turkey carver.
That's true, too.
We had this debate about electric knives before, didn't we? Like, that's just something rich people have. It's probably like $5 at Walmart, but we all think it's like high class.
Anyway, back then, all our turkey was pre-sliced. We didn't have to worry about no fucking carver.
Whatever they're giving out at the food pantry, that's how we're going to serve it.
Made me the man I am today. My fucking cholesterol's to the goddamn
What a
roof.
man it is.
Eating fucking triple stack sausage.
Super biscuits.
Fuck, I'm my mouth's watering thinking about it. I'm going to get one tomorrow morning.
Fuck a monster. Give me a super biscuit.
Can I get a double super biscuit? We just stack them bitches.
Can I get a super duper biscuit?
How many calories are in a super biscuit?
It's like 600. Mad with grief, Joanne sends Andy back to the orphanage, but not before he warns Kyle about Chucky. Unfazed, she retrieves the doll and pulls an Annabelle, tossing him in the trash. She burns a dart on the swing in the backyard and unearths something peculiar beneath her feet, a red and white shoe. She pulls the shoe from the loose dirt and gasps at the disfigured face of Tommy, the good guy doll. Kyle is all, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right, and goes back to the trash bins, only to find Chucky nowhere in sight. The rebel arms herself with a hunting knife before discovering Joanne, lifeless with her throat slit, upstairs in her bedroom. Shook, Kyle falls back onto a bed, only to find herself disarmed, piggybacked by the foul-mouthed redhead killer himself. The menace eventually grabs the knife, forcing Kyle to drive the pair to the foster center. After a close call with the police and a failed vehicular toy slaughter coup, the unlikely duo finally arrive at their destination.
I do love the shots of Chucky. It's always from like farther away when he's attacking someone and his little feet are kicking in the air. It just sells the fucking gimmick.
Oh, the feet thing is a highlight of the movie. It's fantastic.
I had a note that the doll looks so much better in this film than the first one.
Well, the thing is, in this movie, it's a doll the whole time. In the first movie, half the time, it's a little person.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yep.
Yeah, they're not doing puppetry the entire time. Anytime it's like far away, it's a little person.
Yeah, it's much more doll-like. It's much more, like it's a marionette almost.
I remember in the first one, the living room scene, there was clearly like Warwick Davis running behind her instead of a doll. So,
but yeah, she was. Let's talk about the driving scene. Gets pulled over by the police she was doing 60 in a 45 with no seatbelt, and the cop lets her ass walk. You know, if that was me, he'd have me bent over the hood with a hand up my ass and a K9 going through my trunk.
Without question.
Pays to be hot, baby.
The Death of the Mother, for a movie that got so many special effects right, that looked bad to me.
It
Like
felt like a cop
blood
out, like they were
on the neck.
just trying to get rid of her.
You could have sewed her eyes and her mouth and shit together. There was a lot of cool things you could have done with the sewing machine and nothing.
Yeah, the gore isn't really a highlight of the movie at all. Like, if you think about it, all the kills, they're kind of... I like the kills, don't get me wrong, but they're not really gory in any way.
Well, you can't have Chucky, like, stabbing someone 30 times, because that would just look goofy.
Eventually he stabs somebody a few times in the movie, but it's
I'm saying that would look goofy.
Yeah. All right, I'm now picturing him stabbing the shit out of somebody's ankle.
Like when you think back to the beginning where the guy had the jump rope and his hands tied behind his back. That's cool. But if you showed the puppet doing it, it would look goofy.
But it's believable in the way that he kills these people. Like, it's like you say, like him stabbing somebody to death or beating somebody to death with a baseball bat. Well, goddamn, he beat somebody to death with a yardstick.
But it's off camera, see.
Yeah.
He only has so much dexterity. He's a fucking puppet.
Dexterity.
That's why he's so creative. He's always got to come up with new shit. He don't just get to spam the fucking knife like Michael does.
Here we get some great one-liners as well. Bitch, you hurt me. Also get, you goddamn women drivers. I like using that. I actually say that shit all the time when I'm on the fucking road. Just shut up and drive before I kick your fucking teeth in.
The way he says it, though, is just fucking great. It's the door of deliverance.
I said that to Granny one time
Kick your
when she
fucking
was
teeth
like,
in.
she said I left my pocketbook at the house. I said, just shut up and drive or I'll kick your fucking teeth in. A fire alarm clears out the foster center, and Andy, along with caretaker Grace, find Kyle in the lobby, Chucky in tow. The four head into Grace's office, where the doll proceeds to stab the caretaker to death and absconds with Andy. The two hitch a ride on the back of a newspaper truck with Kyle close behind in the Simpson station wagon. Eventually, she manages to stop the truck, only to discover Andy and the good guy doll fleeing towards a large building across the street, which conveniently happens to be the PlayPal factory. Amongst tens of thousands of his doll brethren, Chucky knocks out the young boy and begins his voodoo chant. Stuck in a maze of toys, Kyle searches high and low for her foster brother, but to no avail. Storm clouds gather and disperse as Chucky finally finishes his chant and the boy's eyes open. Something warm and wet falls upon his cheek, the doll's nose running red with blood. The ginger lets out a pained roar as he realizes his predicament, now forever trapped in the good guy doll. Before he can take out his anger on Andy, Kyle knocks over a stack of good guys, burying Chucky under a small mountain of boxes.
So do you guys know who Grace Zabriskie is? The actress that plays Grace?
I know her from I know what you know her from. I know what you're going to talk about. I know her from, like, one thing.
Yeah, I definitely had, like, that lady forever. And I guess it was just from this.
At first, I thought she was the lady from Requiem for a Dream.
Ellen Burstyn?
I thought, but it's not her. She does voice work on Fern Gully as Magi Loon. But let's be real, the only two anyone gives a fuck about when it comes to that movie is Tim Curry and Robin Williams.
Robbie.
Tim Curry as Hexus. Remember Toxic Love?
That song?
Yeah, Toxic Love. Double shifts, no breaks. Oh, you love my Toxic Love. But yeah, you know her from Twin Peaks?
Yeah. So I just finished Twin Peaks, which is fucking cool. So she's pretty famous for that. She played Sarah Palmer, the mother of Laura Palmer, which is definitely an artifact of the early 1990s. Probably right around this time. She was on a lot of people's televisions.
I had a question about this factory and the fact that there are pallets upon pallets upon pallets upon pallets upon pallets of these Tommy dolls.
Well, they're not Tommy dolls. They're good guy dolls.
But I guess each one has a different name.
Yeah, they all got different names. You got John, you got Derek, you got
But they all look kind of the same. They all have red hair and freckles. Right?
yeah. They're all
These are
just
the boxes
they
still.
all look like Chucky.
From what I understand, it was supposed to take place during Christmas, so that's supposedly the explanation.
Yeah, it's
for
like November, I think.
why there's so
Let's see.
many dolls.
That's why he has a turkey carver.
What's up with the truck driver who just totally ignores these children running on the lot into his fucking distribution center?
What the fuck's wrong with you, crazy bitch?
No, I'm not even talking about the newspaper guy.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the newspaper guy.
I'm talking about the guy who was leaving the factory and he sees this child running towards him with a doll and he just fucking keeps turning right and just leaves him.
I didn't see that shit. Oh, I didn't even notice that. There was a guy that he said, "You know what? Hey, my shift's over, brother. I'm gone. This load's got to get to where it's going. I ain't got time to be stopping."
He said, "I'm going home to have good, faithful missionary sex with my wife."
He said, "My wife's got a fucking, she's wet as can be and's got a big ass pot of Stouffer's hamburger help on the bro." Okay, sport, we're going to have a little game of Chucky Says. Chucky says, "Move your ass." Snap out of it. You act like you've never seen a dead body before. Close your eyes and count to 7. When you wake, you'll be in heaven.
It sounds like something the leprechaun would say.
No, that's fucking sinister as shit. When you're talking to a child,
It sounds very leprechaunish.
close your eyes and count to 7. When you wake, you'll be in heaven. The Foster siblings make their escape, eventually finding themselves in the factory part of the building. Racing up a roller conveyor with Chucky close behind, they trap him with a falling gate, but only temporarily as the maniacal serial killer goes Ash Williams, tearing off his own hand, shoving his knife into the stump, and resuming the hunt. Soon after, the lone third shift bespectacled tech unfortunately has a run-in with the Chuckster, and ends up worm food, upgrading from 4 eyes to 6. Surrounded by good guys being built, Andy and Kyle continue to look for an exit, but to no avail. Chucky uses the element of surprise, hitching a ride on the production line, but it backfires as he's garvied onto a board and sent backwards into the automated doll limber by Andy. Screams of pain ensue, and what exits the limber is a steaming pile of abstract dismemberment and gore. Before the survivors can escape, Kyle is knocked unconscious onto a conveyor belt by the swinging body of the technician, and Andy is now stalked by a legless Chucky, who lunges and stabs the boy, but embeds himself in a grate. Above him, Andy opens the molten plastic release valve, soaking and scalding the good guy. The boy manages to wake Kyle just in the nick of time, and the two examine the disfigured body of their would-be murderer. In typical Chucky fashion, however, he springs back to life once again, resulting in Kyle shoving an air hose into his mouth, blowing his head to smithereens. Kyle and Andy have finally escaped the factory and head out into the unknown. So ends Child's Play 2.
I like how he goes Candyman on the ass when he gets the vice grip and the knife and stabs his fucking hand in it.
The pulling his hand off was so unnecessary. He could have just pulled the grate up.
He's not that fucking strong. I don't know. He goes through some legitimate pain, like we see, like in Scream. Ghostface is known for like getting his ass kicked, right? I don't think we've ever seen like a horror, like a villain, get this fucked up because he can feel this, right? That's kind of the whole thing here.
At this point, now that he's like fully trapped within the doll, he's like human inside the doll.
He can feel this like pain.
Oh yeah, he goes the extra mile. At this point, he no longer has the desire to use Andy as a vessel because he can't. At this point, he's seeking vengeance. Trying to get revenge on Andy before, dicking him around and not giving up that sweet, sweet soul.
He's in like the container and it's like stabbing all the shit into him. And even Andy's like wincing, like, God, that must fucking hurt, You usually don't really get that with like most of the horror villains. It's like a moment of empathy there at the end. At least it was for me.
I'm going to tell you what, this whole sequence inside the factory, I fucking love it. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, we get there pretty quick. I'll check the runtime, but there's like 1 hour into the movie, you were here. That's just pretty impressive if you think about it.
Dude, as a kid, man, that shit fucked with me, man. When the whole hand tearing scene, Brad Dourif's like voice work and the agony in his voice, like the blood spurt when he forces the knife into the stump, fucking brutal.
Gross. And he turns into the mud baby. I like the mud baby, that look.
Yeah, that shit is so dope, man.
He's like a fucking slog of flesh or whatever he is at that point.
That vat leaking molten plastic, that shit ain't up to OSHA standards. Somebody's getting shut down if they find out about that shit.
That stuff was piping hot.
But there was another little bit of music there at the end. I don't know if you guys stayed through any of the credits, but there's like almost like a Pennywise theme that starts playing at the end. It's really fucking good.
I referenced that. It's throughout the movie. It's actually peppered in throughout. It's like a evil carnival type deal.
Yeah, kind of like a Jack in the Box in a way, now that I think about it.
Oh, man. Talk about Jack in the Box. You remember that box art?
Oh, yeah, it's got a classic fucking cover.
Oh, it's fucking stupendous.
The movie ends with Kyle and Andy leaving the factory and her saying, "We're going home," although I'm not even sure where that is.
Oh, yeah.
So
Dude,
fucking
when I
sad.
said head out into the unknown, literally unfucking known. First place I'm going is Hardee's. Fuck it, dog. I'm working up appetite while this shit.
Andy said, "Have you heard about the Super Biscuit?"
It's got 1,000 calories in it, Kyle.
So wins Child's Play 2?
All right, big boys. What kind of memorabilia we taking home from the Chuck Star? Second entry.
I'm thinking big. I'm thinking bold. I'm thinking bright lights. I want that giant good guy sign outside of the PlayPal HQ.
Oh, with
Damn.
the waving hand.
That shit is fucking dope.
That's a great choice. I didn't
Yeah, I
even
think
about
that is fantastic. The movie begins with it. The movie ends with it.
I could see that on top of Joey's house, all lit up and working.
Just fucking
waving.
hand moving and shit. Won't nobody ever break into my shit.
I'm going big as well, but not that big. I still don't want that fucking doll in my house. In the first film, I took the incredible accessories pack, which was badass. And in this film, for Child's Play 2, I'm going to take the comically large double D batteries that go inside of the good guy. Those look badass.
It's weird that you guys are talking about size, because what I want is a very specific size, approximately 3 feet long. I want the yardstick. I feel like they'll walk out of the closet right there is just iconic for me. It's like the enduring image from the movie. So,
You know, it's one of those really good yardsticks too that has that strip of metal like embedded
probably
into
got a
the
little blood
side
on
of
it
it.
too.
Dude, you know,
You
it's
can really
that
whoop
good.
somebody's ass with
You know,
it.
it's that good shit.
All right, guys, grade book's out. Time to hand off letter grades for Child's Play 2.
Yeah, we're finally hanging out with our friend to the end again. Let's get it out of the way. Child's Play 1 is objectively a better movie in the traditional sense. No argument there. But I grew up with Child's Play 2. Along with the Friday the 13th movies and several others, it's an integral part of the foundation that would become my lifelong love of and fascination with horror. Child's Play 2 is the birth of Chucky as we know him today. I would compare it to Dream Warriors in the sense of the personality of Freddy Krueger taking shape and setting the tone for what the character would become. There's a sizable crowd that complained about the pacing of the original Child's Play, about how it was slow and plodding. Well, that's out the window with 2, as this is Chucky turned up to 11. The one-liners, the carnage, the chaos, this is Chucky unleashed, and it's glorious. The puppeteering is fantastic and miles ahead of the original, holding up even today. There's surprisingly good camera work, as well as an underappreciated score, kind of evil-esque carnival music, playful yet haunting and foreboding. Brad Dourif, we've sung his praises early and often. He's just so damn good in everything, and this is some of, if not his best work as Chucky. Even the fucking movie poster and box art, man, it's iconic. I remember just seeing that VHS as a kid, it would just give me chills. And that third act, the PlayPal Factory, it's such a memorable setting, and it's so vibrant and interesting, and watching it is a thrill ride every single time. Child's Play 2 is just a great horror sequel. Chucky doesn't get the respect the big 3 do, but man, he deserves it. Child's Play 2 grades out with a B.
All right. Child's Play 2 was a film that I barely remembered before I rewatched it in preparation for this show. The film fully supplanted itself in the jokey /killer in the same vein as Freddy Krueger or the other little man himself, Leprechaun. For everything this film gets right, with special effects and the creation of the iconic laugh, the end result falls flat for me. Almost everyone in this film has bizarre character development issues, and overall story seems full of holes. Nothing new in the horror world, I understand, but for a franchise that has been in the works for decades with new installments, I expected a better sequel than what we got. And for that, I give this film the same grade I gave Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, a C+.
So for me, the nostalgia, the feels, they're all here. This movie doesn't miss a beat. It hops right back into the world we left behind and levels up the Chucky. Brad Dourif, the man, and the puppetry make an already short movie fly by. I've seen this more often than the original, and it holds a more firm place in my heart and mind. Watching it again was a refresher on dialogue I have been quoting since childhood. Hug this. No surprises here. This was a great time, and I am amped to see what happens when we finally find out. Chucky's gonna be a bro. I give this bad boy a B. Good guy, bad boy.
The carnival scene in Child's Play 3, is it as good as the factory scene in this?
It's even funnier, man. Everything's funnier in that one.
Yeah.
I've never seen the third one.
I think it's considered of the three the worst one. However, it is fucking funny.
All right, let's recap some fan scores here. Joseph picked it, so he will abstain. I said a 53, Mr. Hootie a 62. The actual audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is a 51.
Who let the dogs out?
Got some mandatory stuff coming up in October. I think we got a Friday the 13th in October, so we're
Fuck yes.
going to be jam-packed with franchises pretty soon.
The best Friday the 13th movie.
So yeah, we got some franchise fodder on the way. I did debate fixing some of Joey's film history knowledge, but as this is the end of July, it is hot and miserable. I say we stay in the fun, in the sun. And we wrap up the trilogy of my childhood. Let's check out Child's Play 3.
Oh,
Hit him with the
shit.
back-to-back,
Goddamn,
baby.
back going back to back.
It's summer. I'm feeling wild. I'm letting my hair down. All right, folks, you want to join us? We're going to watch the official trailer for Child's Play 3 from 1991 on the YouTube. Let's go. Oh, shit. I hear the taps.
Left, right, left.
Welcome to Hell on Earth.
You are without a doubt the most pathetic thing I have ever seen.
Whitehurst.
That's a good guy doll in this camp.
Does this look like a gun to you, Barkley? It's a rifle.
This is my rifle. This is my gun. This is for shooting. This is for
Rigid
fun.
dress codes.
Presto, you're bald. Get those weapons in the air.
That was that dude from Hellraiser.
Yeah.
And grueling drills. It couldn't possibly.
Look at that fucking haircut,
get
dude.
any worse.
This dude looks like a knockoff Ace.
Got a fucking bandolier on.
Chucky's back. A few years have passed.
Dude, that scene is so creepy with the general carrying Chucky by the hair. Oh my god.
We take bedwetters and turn them into men.
Andy.
How you've grown.
And this time,
Really gotta get out of this body.
he's
All right,
looking
I'm
for
gonna
a
go ahead and say it.
recruit.
The fucking doll looks way shittier.
I'm not gonna let you spoil it.
Yeah.
Now,
It's a lot of the doll in the
Chucky's
trailer.
gonna be broke.
God, is that
Oh, Ellie, man. He's beating the
Tyler?
Child's Play 3. Look who's stalking.
It's fucking
Haircut ain't regulation, soldier. Regulate this.
all right. That's kind of exciting, dude.
doll. God, y'all love this fucking thing.
Hey, if it was up to me, we'd fucking do all of them. Bride of Chucky is actually good.
I forgot to tell you, fellas, at the beginning of this show that, I always try to support the local public libraries. And something odd happened this time. For the first time in my research of trying to find a movie at the library, Child's Play 2 and Child's Play 3 were missing. That's what it said on the
Chucky
portal.
got him.
I don't know.
Tommy got him. Now Tommy's alive. He's trying to learn from the best.
All right, boys, y'all saw the trailer. I get to abstain here since this is my choice. So between you two, go ahead and take your stabs at that old guess.
I'm gonna go 25.
I was going to go 24, but I'm not going to be a dick. I'll go
Goddamn,
19.
Price is Right rules over here.
19?
That's
I'll go
that's crazy. All right, that's crazy.
Wait, now that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's
I'm not going to go
crazy.
higher than 24.
All right, folks, thank you for listening. Check out our website, horriblefilmschool.com. You'll find links to all our podcast platforms, as well as the social networking stuff. You'll see a link to the store in there, too, a little heart icon in the corner if you want to check it out. Give us a follow, leave us some reviews, send us some fresh denim overalls. I'm going to say goodbye and offer my support to women just trying to enjoy a kid-free cigarette all alone in their bedrooms.
As always, if you're hearing our voices, tell at least one person you know. Spread that love. Spread that campaign. Tell them about the Horrible Film School. And I get to go hang out with a Chuckster again. I'm out.
Thanks for all the likes, the subs, the listens, the follows, the downloads. We really appreciate you guys and gals' support, as well as your time and attention. Be sure to join us next time when we try to keep a good guy down with 1991's Child's Play 3. Class dismissed.